One of my very favorite games of all time was Shining Force. And then Shining Force 2 came out, and I loved that one as well. So, by hearing me say that, many of you are probably assuming that I also loved the Fire Emblem games. Well, truth be told, the very first Fire Emblem game that I ever played was Fire Emblem Awakenings. I had never heard of Fire Emblem until that game came out, which is really surprising because Fire Emblem games have been around for quite a long time. I think they even came out before Shining Force. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because Fire Emblem Echoes was just announced for the 3DS, which really surprised me. During the Nintendo Switch event, they mentioned that there was going to be, on January 18th, which is today, a Fire Emblem Direct, which is to say a Nintendo Direct focused only on Fire Emblem. A lot of people just assumed that meant that they were going to talk about Fire Emblem for iOS and Android, as well as Fire Emblem Warriors, which is a button masher in the same vein of Hyrule Warriors. In fact, it's made by the same people. What we weren't expecting was Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. Now, I didn't know anything about it when they said it, but apparently this is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, which is, I think it's the second Fire Emblem in the series. So, I know that some people are saying, whoa, Nintendo and their remakes, but I think that Nintendo's doing a good thing here because I think that I am more of a common case than most. I think that Fire Emblem, while incredibly good because I loved Fire Emblem Awakening, I also enjoyed Fire Emblem Fates, but I think I liked Awakening better just for the story of it. But I think that I'm in the same boat with a lot of people who have never heard of Fire Emblem before that. And I'm not sure why that is, because when it came out, it was like, man, that people were going crazy for this game. I'm not sure if it didn't come out in the US or something, but it's like people knew about Fire Emblem, and I felt like maybe I had just been living in a cave. So what is Fire Emblem Echoes? Well, it's a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, which is the second Fire Emblem. It comes out May 19th for the 3DS. This was a big surprise because we figured that they'd only be talking about stuff from the Switch. So I found that to be a big surprise. Now, that being said, they are making another Fire Emblem game for the Switch, but they didn't say anything or show any footage of it. They just said, hey, we're working on it. It'll come out in 2018 or planned in 2018. So it was a big surprise. And, I can totally see why they would do this. They've got this engine already made. They've got the maps already planned out. They've got the story already planned out. All they got to do is plug A into B and extract money, which is C. And I think that that's a good move on Nintendo's part, especially if it shows a lot of people a different side to Fire Emblem. One of the things that they said in the video is that this Fire Emblem, it differs from a lot of other ones. I guess there's dungeon crawling in it. There's city exploration in it. And I find that to be very intriguing. Now, I say that, but every time I try a Fire Emblem game, and there's only been 2 that I've tried, but every time I try one, in the very beginning, I am, all doughy-eyed and in love with the game and having so much fun. But then something always seems to distract me from it. I want to play Fire Emblem Echoes, but I don't know that I will. And the reason why is because I can't stream it. I mean, I could stream it. I could get a capture card from my 3DS, but that's a whole lot of money. Now, I tend to find single-player games to be dull myself. It didn't used to. And this is something that comes from playing a lot of MMOs for a long time. I just have trouble focusing on a single-player game, especially one where I can easily close the DS and pick up something else. So I don't think that I'm going to play Fire Emblem Echoes. However, the one that they announced for the Switch is definitely going to be on my radar. For main reason, it's going to have better visuals. That goes without saying. I don't know why I said it then. The second reason is I'll be able to stream it. That means that it basically becomes a multiplayer game. I can talk to to people while I'm playing it. I really enjoy that about Twitch and YouTube gaming. And C, I don't know. I don't see myself putting a whole lot of time into my 3DS now that the Switch is on its way. I'll probably finish up a few games that I've been playing on there. But I was kind of hoping Nintendo would just ditch the 3DS and move on to focus on one platform. But anyway, are you guys excited for Fire Emblem Echoes? Are you more or less excited for the Fire Emblem on the Switch? And then, of course, Fire Emblem for smartphones, that's a whole nother bag of worms. Is bag of worms even a thing?